there's many ways, many methods of concentration, of meditation. And in my experience, they all work. They all have value. Centering prayer, which is the method of concentration that's used by some Christians, is a very effective method of concentration, and it has a particular way that it works and particular benefits with that kinds of meditation, but it will help us to come into the quiet, so it's a great method. Here, if you've been with me for a while, if you've done my meditation course, or if you've been in Sonoma Sangha and you've been coming to all these day-longs, then you've been introduced to foundational practices such as the Mountain of Presence, such as the Vast Heart, such as the Shower of Grace. You've been introduced to the I Am meditation, and many other things, and many other practices I've taught too. So what's important is just to review from time to time what is the best method of concentration for me to be working with at this point in my path. So that's an important question and something to sit with. Not necessarily right now, but, to be with in the coming weeks after this day long. And how to know what's best for you, I would suggest that you explore what do you most need. And particularly, where are your weaknesses? Where do you most stumble? Because each method of concentration will not only serve the purpose of calming and concentrating and collecting you, but it will cultivate a particular part of your being that will have other benefits too. For example, if you tend to get very ungrounded and overwhelmed easily, and you need a lot of help kind of quieting a very agitated mind, then the Mountain of Presence would be very useful, because the focus of concentration ultimately is in the cuff or the deep belly center. And the more the belly center develops and stabilizes, the less ungrounded and overwhelmed we are. The more our mind can quiet, the more we feel a sense of support inwardly. So that's an important foundational method. And the reason I emphasize it so much is that most of us have very underdeveloped belly centers. And if our belly center isn't very developed, that will limit how far we can get in inquiry, because we won't have much access to subtle sensing. So some of us, our weak spot is our heart. We experience a withdrawnness in the heart, or we don't have much access to our heart, or there's a reserved quality, or we don't feel a lot of access to joy or love or compassion. And so if that's what is challenging for us, that's what we most need to develop, then a good focus of concentration would be the Vast Heart, because that helps cultivate depth and dimension in the heart and a felt sense of connectivity. Connectivity to other beings, connectivity to subtle dimensions of grace, the felt sense of being in and part of a continuum of loving presence. So for some of us, we might be struggling with a great deal of suffering, and there's a great need for compassion. And so for that, the compassion meditation, the metta, would probably be a very good practice to be working with. So for some of us, what we feel the need for most is a felt sense of opening to spiritual nourishment, a felt sense of inspiration. And so the shower of grace, the hand of light on our crown, might be a very, very useful one when we really feel that need for inner nourishment and soothing, and especially if we have a more devotional nature, that can be very useful. Sometimes where we're at is really wanting to get more experience of the I prior to a me. We want to surf deeper into the pure presence and awareness of our nature. And so the I am meditation would be a good choice if that's what's the strongest thread in our practice right now. And they all work, they're all good. So it's a matter of listening to yourself, doing a little review, seeing what feels like it's best going to support you where you are right now. So once you've gotten clear on that, it's better to not try to mix it up. And I interview people about what's going on in their meditation practice. Often what I learn is they're trying to mix all the methods up together in one sit. And that doesn't work very well. So you want to choose one method and just work with that for a while. Work with it for some months. Don't switch. And again, part of the reason why people mix it up and switch so much is, again, our culture has trained us to be very, I want it all, I want it now. We live in an era where we can go on to Amazon and order something we want and it arrives on the doorstep 2 days later. And so we're becoming a little impatient, a little impetuous, and so we need to cultivate the patience and the perseverance with our chosen focus of concentration and give it a chance to actually work for us. Give it a chance to go there.